Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I have some comments about the new decision of returning Aya Sophia as a mosque while it used to be a museum. A museum to amuse tourists coming and having some pictures, enjoy themselves. Wait a minute. What is better as principle? To use this place as a place of worship, supplicating Allah alone? Look, worship should be for the one God alone. To return as a church, we'll be having statues and we'll be obliged, we'll be told that we have to worship Jesus, whom used to be worshiping God. Even in the Bible, they admitted it. He used to be praying to God. So, is it a place of worship? Yes. To God? No. To the one who used to be praying to God. So, we have two problems now. First problem, which is better as a matter of principle? To be a museum or to be a place worshipping the creator of the universe? Which is better? Or are you telling me that you are secular people? You're showing us that you're not religious anymore and you do not use the scale of religion, and religion should not be having any kind of pattern in the political field. But we can see that they have a religious sense. Now they're getting angry because this place returned to be a mosque. Why? They say this used to be a Christian Orthodox church. Spain used to be, the whole Spain used to be an Islamic country. The Muslims were forced to be Christians, and the inquisitive church behavior that allowed the church to persecute and torture millions of Muslims. You have one of the two things: be Christian or be tortured. And all the mosques, the beautiful big mosques in Spain, they're not mosques anymore. So if you're talking about a religious pattern and religious sense, etc., and this is a touchy issue, wait a minute. What about the mosques in Spain? See, don't show yourself that you are double standard. You are using two scales: a scale for non-Muslims and scale against Muslims. So you want the mosque to return a church? No. They say no. We're not asking this. We're only asking it to be a museum. Just keep it as a museum, but don't tell me that you're going to worship God in it. I don't know. Do I call this Christianity? Returning to Christianity? Do I call it fanaticism? People do not care about religion, but now they care about what? It's a political issue. I just want to know what makes Christian feeling reassured, feeling peace, tranquility, when the mosque is returned or changed to be a museum. They're okay. Museum is okay. But mosque? No. Why? The banner of La ilaha illallah, there is no other God deserves to be worshipped except Allah. Can you please tell me, is there anything wrong with the statement? Let's see. There is no God that deserves to be worshipped except Allah, the creator of the world. Please, I want to see any mistake here. Can you find with me any mistake? I don't see any mistake. Where's the mistake? No one ever deserves to be worshipped except Allah, which means no statues, no idol, no supplication to anyone other than Allah. What makes you angry with this? Why are you so angry with this? Are you Christians? No, we're not Christians. So why are you against a place returning to be a place of worship? Why it is okay with you to keep it as museum? As if you're saying, all right, you don't want to make it church? Fine. Let it be museum. This is the moderate way between church and mosque. Keep it as museum. Is this logic? It is not logic. Let me see. I want to make some comments about this. Ministry of Culture in Greece, they say this Turkish decision changing Aya Sophia to a masjid, a mosque, is in a matter of fact provocative decision against the civilized world. Where's the civilized world? Civilized? Building statues as the old ancient heresy? Attracting people to paganism? Don't you know that in Christianity, statues and idols are criticized, but in the Old Testament? Don't take for yourself an idol. So even in the Bible, it says don't take idols. But this place is to be filled with idols. And Islam purified this place from idols. So what provokes you? I wonder. Oh, and the minister of Greek culture, Lina Mandoni, she said the national pattern that Erdogan shows, it returns his country 600 years back. 600 years. No. Returning the masjid to a place of idols and statues and letting people worship people and pray to people and ask people and build statues for people apart from Allah. This is the backwarding. Purifying the place of what's supposed to be a place of worship, turning it to a place of idol worshipping, is, in a matter of fact, returning to 600 years back. Konstantin Kosachev, Russian, he said this decision had caused a negative reaction worldwide in the Christian world, and Ankara is by this decision, it appears as if it's going against the religious balancement, and it will be losing its influence as a religious displayer. Why? I want to know why. It goes against the religious balancement. What? Doing what, for example? What is the negative thing in it? Like what? Saying Allahu Akbar is wrong. Is the word Allahu Akbar wrong? Allah is the greatest ever. Is that wrong? La ilaha illallah. There is no God that ever deserves to be worshipped except Allah. Is that wrong? Come on. Think it. Just think in your mind. Where is the mistake in this statement? There is no other God that ever deserves to be worshipped except Allah. We do not speak to a picture nor to an idol. Where's the mistake? I just want to know. Russian TASS agents, they declared their sorrow because of the Turkish decision, changing the masjid of Aya Sophia, which had been before as a museum, then returning it as a masjid. It may cause a great deal of global division. What? Why? A place which used to be a place of worship, it had been updated and improved to become a place of worship man to worshipping man, to become a place of man worship to God only alone. Just tell me, where's the mistake? Just tell me I'm mistaken. Be logic. Be realistic. Don't show that you are fanatic. And at the same time, you're hiding your Christian pagan inclination. You're hiding this. Saying, oh, we're seculars. No more place for a church. We're seculars. But most of those so-called secular flags, they contain the crosses. Especially Sweden. Look at the big cross in their flag. So they're still Christians. That reminds me what Allah said. وَدُّوا لَوْ تَكْفُرُونَ كَمَا كَفَرُوا. They had a great wish that you become disbelievers as they are disbelievers. فَتَكُونُونَ سَوَاءً. Then you'll be equal in a matter of disbelief. Subhanallah. In another ayah, the Jews and the Christians won't be pleased with you until they'll keep being displeased with you until you follow their way. And also, they're warned that this place has a holy value to the Russians. Okay, it has a great value to the Russians. No problem. Don't worry. Calm down. Take aspirin. Calm down. We promise you that none will be worshipped in that place except the Creator of mankind. Or let the worship in it be for God only. Go ahead and take it. Erdogan is not going to take it away from you as long as you worship God alone in it. But don't worship three persons claiming that the three are one, but the second one of them died while the first one among them is still alive, and the first one gave life to the second one to revive him from the death after being dead for 3 days and 3 nights. Come on, what kind of place of worship is this? This is paganism. You worship mankind. And Jesus is one of the mankind. You can't tell me he's mankind, but God kind. Can't be. You can't tell me he's God, but he was worshipping God. Cannot be. You cannot tell me he was God and the evidence of that he was bringing people back to life. So if he raised the people from being dead, he's God. But what about himself, that so-called God, when he died? So if someone returned him to life, that one is the God of Jesus. He returned Jesus to life. Come on. So you wanted to prove that Jesus is God by telling us that he was raising people back to life, but he was among those who died. So who raised him? You can't tell me that while he was dead, he was raising himself. Somebody raised him. So that makes Jesus no more God. The one who raised him, because there must be someone who returned the dead to life. So the one who returned people to dead is God. But what was Jesus doing? Did he bring them, did he take the dead and he says, I will be returning you to... No. He was asking God to return him to life. This is how Jesus was raising people from death. We have no problem with this. As a miracle, Elijah went up and thousands of people returned to life through him, and nobody said he's God. What's going on? Be realistic. And also, they urged Erdogan not to behave fanatically and to return the place as it was, as a museum. Oh, yeah. So, finally, I say, returning the place to a place of worship, what does that harm you? Why do you have to bargain? You know what? Keep a thing between us and you, all right? Let it be a museum. I keep asking you this question. What is better, a museum or a place of worship where people raise their hands up to God Almighty, just like what happened to the pagan when they are in serious danger that risks their life, their fate. Now they will not be remembering the idols and the statues anymore. They'll be raising their hands up to Allah alone, supplicating Him, "Oh God, we're in trouble, return us or save us." You see? So I don't find any problem with a place returning as a place of worship. Oh, by the way, what will be the reward of those tourists coming to Aya Sophia Masjid? Some money? What will be the reward of those who take advantage of this masjid as a place of worship, supplicating Allah alone therein? Great reward. Eternal paradise. Wish whatever you wish in paradise is yours. Which is better? What reward is better? Is tourism more important? Wait a minute, there's no more tourism in the world. Who will be endangering himself and saying, let's go to a place while Corona is influencing the whole world now? Who will be caring about tourism? He may get back from tourism with COVID-19. Who will be caring about tourism? There's no more tourism so far until an appointed term given by Allah. Look, no one has the right to say, "Oh God, why you're taking people's life?" It is not your job. Go ahead. If you can stop COVID-19 or you can stop death, go ahead. Stop death if you can. You can't. The one who has the right to give them life is the one who brought them to life from being dead. They were nothing. They had no existence. And it's He, Allah, who gave them life. So He has the system. You do not have the right to say, we have the right to live. No. The one who has the right to make you alive or make you dead is the one who granted you life and is the one who punished you, tried you with COVID-19. You have to know that this life is a life of test. Come on, pass the test. And paradise is waiting for you eternally. A life that has no end. A life that is not consecrated by death. That is the life that you're supposed to be eager for. So you have problem with COVID-19? No problem. Return to God. Be ready for death. Follow the truth. Be obedient to Him. And He's promising you to be admitted to His place of mercy, wherein there is no disease, there is no death, there is no depression, there is no sadness, there is no sickness, there is no evil words as we found on street. No. It's a life of peace, a life without death, a life of honor. Get whatever you desire. But you know what? God said, and we have something more than a person cannot imagine to desire. In this life, what you see is not what you get necessarily. But there, you can get something, and there is another thing hidden for you, prepared for you, that you never imagined, you have never seen, you have never heard about, you never knew about it. It's prepared for you. So why don't you be ready? Say the word of La ilaha illallah. There is no other God that deserves to be worshipped except Allah. And follow this final messenger that Allah entrusted him and gave him this message, this mission of message, which is not very far from the final hour that is expected to be occurring at any time. Be ready. Be ready. I know that COVID-19 had caused a lot of people to be depressed, to be sad, to be concerned about the fate. Where am I going? What's going to happen to me? I may die tomorrow. No problem. You know, you can trust Allah. Depend on Allah. But wait a minute. How come you depend on God while you're turning away from God? How can you trust the God whom you are turning away from? So fix yourself. The problem is in you, my dear. Repent. Come to Islam. And leave people in a place, even if it was museum and it had been taken as place of worship. That's better. Unless you have something wrong in your mind. Is it a religious matter that you're defending, or it's a political agenda that you're playing? Assalamu alaikum. And I realized on Twitter that there are some people who belong to Muslim societies. They were angry of changing the museum to a masjid. Now, everyone who was angry for this, he is Zionist, he is a hypocrite. He had exposed for us his hypocrisy and his Zionism. Look, not agreeing with Erdogan, it means that you should be against him with everything he does. If you have something to do against Erdogan, it doesn't mean that you should get angry for changing a place from being museum to a masjid. The one who claims that he is Muslim while he is sharing the anger against changing the museum to a masjid, let him check his Islam. And let him know that he is already detaching himself from the Muslim body. Yes, he has a Muslim leather. He has a Muslim skin, but a Zionist heart. And he is detaching himself from Islam, as Bal'am ibn Ba'ura detached himself from Allah and his verses. And check the story of this man in the 7th chapter, verses from 175 to 176. Wassalamu alaikum. Everyone who is angry because of this, who is, in a matter of fact, is sharing with those also sick people among the non-Muslims, like Christians, Greek Christians, French Christians, British Christians. I didn't realize anything with them. And a matter of fact, they have the highest rate of mosques in the whole Europe and America. Dear brothers, currently I have a problem with YouTube, and they're preventing me from uploading my videos. And I have a big problem with this. Every day I receive some copyright claims, some strikes, and I've been followed up. I don't know why. So I tried, as some brothers suggested on me, to try Patreon website so I can normally upload all my videos and nothing happens, and YouTube cannot have access to me, chasing me with copyrights and stuff. So please, if you can help joining with me on this website, https://patreon.com/Dimashqiah, Dimashqiah. It may cost some money sometimes. If you accept this support, that will be a great support for me, and it will help from being pursued and harassed by the claims of those who claim that I'm abusing their copyrights, which is false, which is a lie, because sometimes I may take some quotes of them, then I reply it. I do not hack or steal any kind of copyrights, but that shows their frustration and their failure from facing my evidence with evidence. But this is their final way. They found it to be the best way for them to cover thereby their failure. So please help. Thank you very much.